media. So, Gary, do you want to kick us off?
Hello.
Hello, Gary.
You're back just in time. How frustrating, we know you love to play football, how frustrating has it been to have your first serious injury?
Yeah, it was tough for me. Came at a bad moment, but I'm just focused now on the positives, and I couldn't ask to come back at a better time of the season than now.
I know you've had some big nights. In terms of your club football, is this going to be the biggest night so far?
I think in an Arsenal shirt it probably will be, yeah.
Because I know how important it was to you to come back. You said on social media the reaction of the crowd against Fulham really lifted your spirits. It meant a lot to you. How important are the crowd going to be for you and the whole team tomorrow night?
Yeah, so obviously as the players, we're ready and we're up for it, but I honestly have no doubts that the fans tomorrow, they're going to be up for it also, and they're going to help create the most beautiful night that the Emirates has witnessed.
Let's hope so, thanks.
Hi Bukayo, how are you?
I'm good.
So no one wants to get injured and be out for a couple of months or whatever it is, but in hindsight, going away, holiday, bit of sun on your back, bit of R&R like the rest of us have, has it actually done you good going into this game? Do you feel fresher than nearly everyone else on the pitch tomorrow night? I mean, just talk us through what that little break did for you, even mentally.
Yeah, so I think mentally it was really good for me. Obviously it was really tough initially to find out the extent of my injury, that I was going to have surgery. It was really tough for me to hear the news at first, but once it was done and it was successful, I was just focused on coming back stronger, and I had a lot of time. Obviously the past 5 years I've been playing game after game, so it was the first proper break I've had, and it was really good for me. I got to do a lot of things that I don't really normally do, so yeah, I feel fresh. I can give you many examples, but you will get bored. But yeah, focusing on the question, yeah, it's really nice to be back, and I feel fresh mentally for sure.
Tomorrow night we're going to see some world-class players opposite you, but also on your team as well. You're included. And you came through the academy at Hale End, so too as Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. One, have they, because you came through the academy like they did, have they asked you specifically for advice they did in their journeys? And two, what does that show about this football club, the fact that while other clubs go out and cherry pick some of the best players from around the world, this club still goes back to its roots?
Yeah, that just goes back to the amazing academy we have, and the latest example is those two boys, Miles and Ethan, and how talented they both are. And yeah, I'm always there for them if they want to ask me any questions. They do sometimes they don't, but I always make myself available to them, and yeah, I'm just really proud to see the steps that they're making, and I just hope they keep grounded and keep working hard.
And the fact the academy has brought through so many players.
Yeah, like I said, this is Arsenal. I think this is what we do. We've done it in the past, and I just hope we continue to keep doing it so we can save more money.
Bukayo, you're in rehab, you're recovering, and this draw has been made. Just how much of a focal point and incentive was it to kind of almost get over the final hurdle and make sure that you're ready for arguably the biggest game of this season?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask my physios, there was a lot of conversation about this game. I'm waiting to be back, and not just back in good shape. I'm feeling good, so yeah, that's what I spent a lot of months working massively towards, and yeah, we're here now, so I'm excited.
The manager was talking about creating your own story and also not being intimidated perhaps by Madrid's history by playing the opponent. Just, can you talk a little bit about that and just how determined the players are to make their mark in the Champions League? You've done brilliantly in the last couple of seasons in the Premier League, but just how much will it mean to make a statement in Europe?
Yeah, it'll mean a lot to us. The first time the club's been in the Champions League quarterfinals back-to-back for a while now. So yeah, tomorrow night we want to take the next step and try and get it over the line.
And what does it mean, the magic of Madrid?
Yeah, it's Madrid. You have to respect that and accept what they've done in the history. But tomorrow anything can happen. We can't focus too much on that.
Hi, Bukayo. We spoke to William recently. Naturally, I think the fans are very nervous about his contract situation. I think those same fans are very nervous about your contract situation. Could you give or say anything to help ease those nerves of the fans?
Yeah, well, for me, I want to win, and I want to win wearing this badge. So I think it's pretty clear. The fans know how much I love them, and you know, when you saw when I came on Tuesday, I think they love me back. So it's a good relationship, and yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm just focused on winning here.
You seem pretty intent there in kind of where your head's at, and I was going to ask you whether that noise you heard on the other night could have changed anything, but it seems that that didn't change anything. It just reaffirmed how you feel about it.
Yeah, no, I just reassured everything, and yeah, like I said, it was special. You had to be in the stadium to really understand, and feel the noise and energy that they brought that night for me. So I'm really grateful, and yeah, like I said, I just want to win here, and that's my focus now.
Hi, Bukayo. You've had some amazing moments for Arsenal, played in finals for England, but is this game against Madrid and knockout stages of Champions League something you dreamed of as a kid and a young player coming through?
Yeah, most definitely. It's a very big night, and the stakes are high against one of the best teams in the competition. So I think it's a game that I definitely want to be involved in.
And I know you've spoken about coming back, but how do you feel sharpness-wise? Do you feel as you were before you came on, or still need some more minutes to get back up to where you were before you had your injury?
No, I feel good. Obviously, you can't define nature. You need to obviously get on the pitch, get your minutes up, but I'm feeling good, and the last 2 games I felt like I've gone from strength to strength.
Hi, Bukayo. Obviously, when you approach this match, we know the occasion, we know how much your career has meant for you and your family, and even in your faith, where you thank God. When it comes to the pressure and remaining calm, we've seen you perform and carry this Arsenal team when they've needed it the most. How do you approach that mentally before a match of maybe this caliber that you haven't played before?
It's a good question. I think for me, I'm always focused on doing what I'm in the team to do, and that's, for me, is making a difference in the final third. And I genuinely believe that if I do that, the team is so good, and the defenders are so good that we can score more goals than them, basically. So my approach to each game is pretty similar. Obviously, some games the stakes are higher, like this one, but yeah, the approach is the same.
James?
Bukayo, I know you've been keeping in touch with Thierry, and he's been offering you words of advice throughout this season and before. What has been the sort of advice and inspiration he's offered to you going into a game like this?
I think for me, the biggest thing I take when I speak to Thierry is the confidence that he has, in himself. Obviously, he gives me a few details on certain situations on the pitch and what he sees it and how he sees the game. But for me, I just, when I speak to him, I like the way he's so confident, and he genuinely believes that when he was on the pitch, no one could stop him. And I think with that belief, he literally just destroyed the league. So yeah, that's what I admire about him the most.
Have you let yourself dream about having a moment like he had in the Bernabeu?
Yeah, of course. His moment was his moment. Obviously, here we want to write our own story, but yeah, something like that would be nice. Yeah.
Bukayo, you mentioned how proud you are of the way the club is bringing players through the Hale End Academy, and obviously your injury allowed the opportunity for Ethan to play a little bit more football, and the way he's been curling the ball into the far corner is very Bukayo Saka-esque. Have you had any influence on him, do you think, during that period?
Yeah, Ethan will come and ask me questions from time to time, but I don't want to take anything away from him. I think he's an exceptional talent. He has that natural ability. And yeah, he's got a few similar qualities to me than in terms of he has got really good strike of the ball. So yeah, I'm just happy to see the way he's evolving, and I hope he continues.
Ed?
Hi, Bukayo. The manager was asked earlier about Madrid's front four and how much Arsenal are fearing them. Do you think that Arsenal have got plenty? Sorry, Madrid have got plenty to fear from Arsenal with you back in the team?
Yeah, 100%. I think just looking at our home record in the Champions League itself, I don't think we've lost a game in the last 2 seasons there, so I'm sure they know that. And yeah, they need to be ready because we're pretty good at the Emirates.
And do you sense, having come back into the team, you're obviously a big leader in this team. Do you feel that the rest of the players are now sort of galvanised, focused on the target to win this tie?
Yeah, I think with or without me, the objective is the same, and it's to beat them and go to the next round. So I think, yeah, with me coming back, it's still the same focus.
Hi, Bukayo. Just going back to the contract, is that something you'd like to get done sooner rather than later, say this summer, so it's done and dusted?
I don't think anyone's really in a rush. I think I've got 2 years left on my contract, so it's pretty relaxed. Everyone knows my thoughts, and I've let you guys know as well, so I don't think there's any rush really.
And just in terms of tomorrow's match, obviously Real Madrid are the favourites, or people have them as the favourites. Do you guys feel like you're the underdogs, or do you feel like?
I don't even think at all down that way. I don't know.